All right, hello, boys and girls. One of my infrequent opinion pieces on why maybe if you're waiting to get your PS5 because of availability issues, you should consider getting a Series X or S. Right off the bat, two things recently that have happened: the Major League or MLB, the show, uh, coming out for multi-platforms and available day one on Game Pass. You have to pay $70 for it to play it on your PS5. Um, and I was not aware of this, but I'm guessing Sony's going to the $70 price point on games. Hopefully, Xbox will not do the same. But if they do, it is somewhat mitigated, or mostly mitigated, by Game Pass, where all their first party games are going to be available for your monthly subscription. Number two, uh, Sony closing down the PS3, Vita, and PSP stores, and with Xbox being very backwards compatible oriented, um, even as far back as the 360. And then another thing that's been kind of recent is the optimizing your games. With Sony, apparently you have to upload your PS4 version, fully update it, upload your PS5 version, fully update it, and then transfer your game saves. With the Xbox, regardless of what console you're on, you upload the game. It knows what console you're on. It gives you that version of the game, and that also eliminates another thing that happens with the PS5, where people upload or install the PS4 version when they wanted the PS5 version. It's impossible to do on the series consoles. Um, your accessories, all your old accessories, just can come along to the your new Xbox console. Um, Another thing, I'm going to try to do this kind of quick. I don't want to take too long. Memory expansion, and you can argue that the memory expansion for the series computers is too expensive. Um, but all you got to do is just slip it into the slot provided, and you've got another terabyte of memory. As far as I know, as the time of this recording, you still cannot increase the memory of your PS5, which also brings me to another point. Your base memory of the PS5 is like 200 gigabytes less than the Series X. There's a 600 and something gigabytes available on the PS5. There's like 802 available to you on the Series X. And granted, the Series S is very tiny, but if you get it as a secondary console or something to tide you over until uh, you can get your PS5, uh, then the memory thing may not be such a big deal. Something else I've also said before too: if you get the memory card for the Series S, then you've paid the same price as the Series X. But if the disk drive isn't that big of a deal for you, um, you're going to end up with 1.2, 1.4 terabytes of memory more, about 400 gigabytes more than just the base Series X. And then I know it's a tough sell for all you people that all your friends are on the PlayStation. Um, Hopefully, more games will be cross-platform. If you play a lot of single-player games, doesn't really matter. Um, but you also might be able to convince your friends to make the switch over once you experience the uh, the environment, and you could maybe sell it to your, like I said, to your friends, and maybe even I cannot guarantee this, but perhaps for the time being, although all the consoles are kind of hard to get, the Xboxes seem to be a little bit more uh, accessible or gettable, if you will, if you would. And then just real quick, last three things are things that pretty much have been since the announcement of the series consoles, which is quick resume, which doesn't sound that impressive when you just hear about it, but when you actually experience it, it's actually really quite amazing, and I can't go back. I love the quick resume function. You got your auto HDR, which simulates HDR for games that were not made with HDR. And I will admit it's a little hit and miss. Some games are better than others. Um, and then finally, something kind of recently that they added, which was FPS boost. So games that formerly ran at 30 FPS can now run at 60 FPS, and in some cases 120 FPS. Now, admittedly, it isn't every single game. It is only a very small handful of games that that's available on right now, but I expect that to expand and grow. Um, but yeah, I think that is about everything. Like I said, I wanted to kind of keep it short and sweet. Um, and Also, I just want, I should also add, I don't want to be, I'm not trying to get into some pissing contest about which is better. I'm just saying, as a former PlayStation or myself, having experienced the Xbox environment, I prefer it. And oh, and this reminds me. So maybe if you still want your PS5, maybe consider getting the series consoles and then getting the mid-gen upgrade version of the PlayStation. That was my plan because actually, to be fair, I had both PlayStation and Xbox, and that was my plan to get the Series X first, and then I would get the PlayStation down the line, and then maybe even like the mid-gen version. But honestly, I think I might not do that. I think I've totally converted to Xbox, and yes, those sweet, sweet exclusives will be sorely missed. Um, but anyways, that is just my 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you listened to it with an open heart, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for listening to my 2 cents. And I guess the last thing left to say is PalpyTeen out.